Idle Hands is a 1999 American black comedy horror film directed by Rodman Flender, and is quite literally based on the age-old saying, "Idle hands are the devil's playthings." Our story starts with a couple in bed, who after hearing a disturbance in their home are shocked to see the words "I'm under your bed" scrawled on the ceiling. Naturally, they crap themselves, and once they see nothing is under the bed, the man reluctantly heads downstairs to investigate. He cries in pain, which forces his missus to do some of her own investigating, but after she finds blood on the floor, she runs back into the bedroom to call the police. Then the phone is ripped from her hands moments before she can dial the number, and she is pulled under the bed by a mysterious assailant, who makes a right royal mess of her gooey bits. The following morning, we meet the couple's son Anton, who is completely oblivious to the fact his parents are missing, let alone that they have been slaughtered in cold blood. Anton is an average lazy stoner teenager, and after scratching his bollocks, realizes he is running low on Mary Jane. He phones his dealer, who tells him to get off his idle ass and pay him a visit if he wants to score some more of the devil's parsley. So Anton dons his pink fluffy slippers, and climbs into the basement of his two best friends, where they inform him a killer is on the loose in their town. Anton couldn't care less, and is a lot more interested in getting high, but his friends are all out, and suggest if he wants to get a buzz, maybe he should smoke some nutmeg and oregano instead. That night, gullible Anton attempts to smoke the questionable concoction, with disastrous results, and when he sees there is someone outside his house, assumes it must be the killer that his friends warned him about. He freaks out and hides in his bed, then decides to make a sandwich, and notices that the knife he is using to spread his mayo is covered in blood. Unfortunately, the sandwich is ruined, and as he slips on an umbrella, discovers the dead bodies of his parents. He runs out the house to get help, but instead finds his two best buds, and drags them inside so he can explain the situation. At first they are more interested in a booty-shaking music video, but soon realize that Anton is in deep shit, and his parents were in fact murdered. They start to suspect Anton, after seeing that a part of his t-shirt was in his mother's hand, and as they start to back away from him, Anton involuntarily jabs a broken bottle of beer into his friend's cranium. His other friend doesn't appreciate Anton's idea of hospitality, and runs into the basement, where they both realize that Anton is completely out of control. As his friend tries to make a break for it, Anton throws a circular saw blade at him, and off goes his head. If this is how Anton treats his friends, I'd hate to see how he treats his enemies. Rather than Anton phoning the police and turning himself in, he decides to sit and watch some cartoons to unwind, and this is when he notices his hand has a mind of its own. So there we have it. A clueless teenage slacker with a possessed left hand who has a penchant for wreaking havoc, his two best friends who are back from the dead and more than happy to provide him with some comic relief, and a high priestess, who seems to be the only person who understands the motives of the hand, and how to stop it in its tracks. Will Anton find a way to live in harmony with his killer appendage? Okay then, maybe not after all. Will the high priestess be able to find the murderous hand before its deadly digits do any more damage? And why on earth is Jessica Alba's character attracted to this greasy layabout anyway? Sure beats me. Idle Hands is a highly entertaining comedy horror movie, and once you look past the casual homophobic quips and dumb teenage stereotypes, really delivers a unique blend of scares and laughs, that is often a difficult task to do right. This film couldn't be any more 90s if it tried. Even Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 has a cameo in it, and the punk and metal songs brought me back to my teenage years. But even its rocking soundtrack, dark humor, and satanic themes, couldn't save it at the box office, where it flopped epically with a loss of over $20 million. Ouch. Of course, this doesn't mean Idle Hands is a bad film, and there's plenty of memorable moments that undeniably make it worth a watch. The acting is campy and fun, and the film never takes itself too seriously, despite some genuinely blood-curdling scenes. Christopher Hart, who plays the curiously adorable thing in the Addams Family movies, is responsible for another great performance, and the special effects still hold up well, even though this is a movie from the late 90s, when computer graphics were famously hit and miss. Personally, I thought one of the standout scenes was at the school Halloween dance, where we saw Dexter Holland, the lead singer of The Offspring, get a hair-raising introduction to the malevolent Mitt. All in all, Idle Hands is a pretty damn good comedy horror film, and I'm still a bit baffled as to why it was such a box office catastrophe. There's frights, there's chuckles, and Jessica Alba is positively stunning, so what are you waiting for? Give it a go, you might be pleasantly surprised. I would recommend Idle Hands, but what did you make of this movie? Did it grip you? Or maybe leave you with sweaty palms? Don't worry, that's the last hand pun I can think of. Anyway, let me know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, why not give it a thumbs up, or subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this one. I've been HB, the Horror Bot. Cheers babes.